Welcome back to another unboxing video. Today I've got for you Oros by Brant Brinkerhoff and AESC Games. Just got this. This is the deluxe version from Kickstarter, and when I saw it come out on Kickstarter, I was pretty excited. It reminded me a little bit of the old video game Populous, only because you're playing demigods and you're world shaping. Now that's about the only similarity I can think of, but I haven't played the game, so it may have some more that I'm not aware of. It's kind of a bright day here in my kitchen, so actually works out pretty well. You can see this inlay design. If the light hits the box just right, you can see these swirls. So it actually worked out okay. Let's take a look at what's inside the box. I will say there is a slight lift on the lid, but I think once you get all the cardboard punched out, it should sit in there pretty nicely. So we've got the rule book here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It is a pretty big rule book lengthwise, but it's got some nice flavor text in here. And one of the things, again, not going to page through everything for you, but I do like, they've got a special section just for the Automa is how you say it, I guess, because you can play. It's even at a two-player game, they suggest having a third AI opponent in there. There are different ways to set up the board. And then what I thought was kind of neat, and this is something he had talked about in his Kickstarter, on the tiles, all of these different Easter eggs to find. And you can actually check it off in your rule book if you want. I'm not going to try and zoom in because I think the shadow will make it too hard to read. And then I've seen other games that do this, so little challenges you can check off as well into your rule book if you want. Or if you're like me, you'll make a Google spreadsheet instead, so you can always access it as you're talking about the games with friends. And so I thought that was kind of a nice little addition. Lots of iconography to learn, and I'm glad he put that on the back so you can have this handy. Not sure if he's got a smaller card because this is going to take up some table space, but you can have it sitting off on the side, I suppose. So when we get in here, sorry about the glare, like I said, it's pretty sunny here. We've got these wonderful trays on the top and bags of the different volcanoes that you're going to put out for each player. I think that's also a volcano. With level 1, level 2, here's level 3 and level 4. They're wood, they're nice. Clips, which is an interesting choice that the designer made. We're going to have dual layer boards, but you got to clip them together. And one thing I've read online is that some of them are starting to warp already. So I have had this open for a few days, actually. I'm trying to get it acclimated to the house before I try and put things together. The trays here are for your land tiles, and I don't know, well, there you can see it if I angle it a little bit. They have numbers in there so that you know what levels to put in. They're at an angle, so they should be nice and easy to pull them out. And you got 2 of those. Both identical trays, which I do like. We got this, I don't know, it's a sticker of some sort, but I think it actually is well, it's like a silicone pack without it being silicone. Maybe keeping some of the moisture out. I don't know. It says don't eat it. That's all I can tell you. We get into the tiles then, and you can see the different land masses. And one of the things he also did is he said you can put this together and make a puzzle out of it. I guess somebody has already done that and posted it on Boardgame Geek. I like that they're inside this packaging so that you get some games where the cardboard starts to fall apart before you start to punch it out, and then it makes a little bit of a mess. But let's just pull one of these out, look at the thickness real quick. We'll just punch out those guys. Again, typical cardboard thickness. They feel pretty good. And you'll be able to put those into those trays over there as soon as you get them all punched out. Then we've got the single layer god boards, demigod boards. So if you're worried about the warping, I suppose you could just play on here. But of course, anybody that's played, you're gonna have markers all along here. And if it's not dual layer, you bump it, you bump the table, you reach across the table, something's gonna slide and get out of place. Now this is pretty thin cardboard, but then we get into the dual layers, and again, I'm not gonna take these all out. I'm not sure I'm looking forward to punching out all of those, But then you can see there's 2 spots here where you'll be able to put those pegs through and hold the thing together. Now what people are really suggesting is start from the bottom, put the big peg through, put the thin cardboard on top, and then finally put the top layer on. And that seems to be helping a little bit. Here is another portion of the dual layer. And until I sit down and start punching this out, I'm sure it's pretty easy to put together. I'm not going to try and speculate on camera with that. Then we get down to a scoring track for your demigods. It's a thin cardboard, but that's okay. You don't need this to be real thick. And if I remember correctly, you're basically making your way up the pyramid to become the best demigod. The board itself, the world, I really like. This is a silly thing, but I really like how it's rounded. Because, of course, as you're shifting tiles, you know that it's going to go around the globe, right? And so that implies that. I was surprised it doesn't take up a lot of room. And we got 2 sides to it. And that's the extent of the board itself. And I would assume this is a slightly smaller side, so I would assume that's like your 2-player side, and this is for a larger game. But it doesn't take up a lot of table space, which is good, because you're going to have your player boards that are going to take up space as well. When we get into the box then, a lot of bag goodies. We've got wooden temples. Let's just open up one of them just so you can see, good thickness. I like the art design on it. Well made. It looks like it's going to be good and durable. And you've got your different layers for the temples. So you got that square, you've got the rectangle, the single. I assume that's the top space. We got some wooden markers, but I think those are supposed to be on the scoring track. But you also have the actual wooden gods you can use. Here are the Atama, again, I don't know how to say it. The AI cards for each of the gods. And not exactly sure how it works. I do remember that this all tells you what exactly to do, what's going to shift and all that type of stuff. We've got a scoring pad. And then you can see we continue to have more trays in the bottom from Black Form. Right in here, we've got a Jade Jaguar. And then these are each of the individual player trays. But for packing purposes underneath, we've got some more wooden pieces. These will be our workers that we place as we're playing the game. We've got is that the knowledge track or whatever as you move up on the different levels on your board. Then we've got the actual demigods in here, and they are chunky. Sorry for the shadows today, but they are good and chunky, so hopefully you get a good feel of that. And one of the things I do really appreciate, Brett actually sent out in his latest update a picture of how to put everything back into this box, because obviously with the trays, you want to get things in the right place, and one of the complaints that people sometimes have is, I don't know where to put them all. So he's actually got in one of his recent updates, here's how you put stuff into the trays. So anyways, I'm looking forward to getting this on the table. I've got a little bit of work to do. First, putting things together, getting things stored properly. But that is, that's a bad angle. Sorry about that. We'll try that. That is Oros from Brent Birkenhoff and or Brinkerhoff, sorry. And should be a lot of fun. As always, keep on gaming.